America right now is putting up with anything. And if we don't get up and realize what's happening to us, everything is going to collapse. And that's the plan. You have to understand, they want to collapse healthcare. They want to collapse confidence in the government and cause a revolt. They've got the whole thing planned out as one fell swoop because they know the gun culture, the liberty culture is growing. They know Congress has a 9% approval rating. So they're going to run hoaxes that everyone loves Obama and that he's been endorsed and that his agenda is loved and that everyone cares about him and that everyone wants socialism, when it's all a lie. And they know no one's buying that, and they know they've committed all these crimes, and Fast and Furious didn't work for them, and they got caught doing the underwear bombing, and they've been caught running Al-Qaeda, and everyone, not just here, but all over the world, is calling the globalist on it as they take down Europe and the United States. These are foreign. They're not even foreign. They're global, above-the-law banks. And they are training police. And that's why they want them dumber and dumber, because smart cops absolutely see through snake FEMA and Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL operatives coming in. We've got the training videos. I've put them in films like Road to Tyranny, where they sit around bad-mouthing America and saying Thomas Jefferson and George Washington are bad, and gun owners are bad, and veterans are bad. And the cops sit there and go, well, this is treason. But don't worry, they're just kicking them out and bringing in goons, ladies and gentlemen. Because here's the deal. They have to bring in dumb goons, because even smart criminals like liberty, generally, if they're low level, because they understand down the road they're going to be oppressed by it. Even smart, low-level predators don't want to lose all their rights, even though they are sitting in the command position, because they know that they'll be in another position down the road. And so they're going with childlike people in code enforcement, police, everywhere, who talk like children, who act like children. And it's like a fun role-playing, and they're the boss. It reminds me of my 5-year-old daughter when she's being bossy. It's the exact same thing. And they're sitting there. They have no embarrassment. They have no honor. They have no connection to reality. And then you've got criminal, hardcore psychopaths who relish it and have an instinct for domination, like Mayor Bloomberg, like people like Obama. And so if you tuned in for the first time here, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to understand that they've got the movies, the TV shows, the dramas. That's the final phase. First, they do the training that the new terrorist is white people. Do you understand? Kurt Nimel's writing an article right now off this. They say in the second line, in the second small paragraph of the LA Times, that there are cells of terrorists, and they're all white. And notice they don't say they're white supremacists. They say whites. So that immediately makes blacks, Hispanics, and others that have been taught all whites are bad and evil. You have to do that to then create the break. So it's the minorities becoming the new police force. That's been done in England. They brought in people from foreign countries, Asia, Eastern Europe, Africa, you name it, who are, I've had members of parliament on, who are now the majority of the police forces everywhere. They can't even hardly speak English. I've been there and experienced it. It's a total act of domination. Yeah, there's the quote. They're not jihadists. They are white right-wing Americans, nearly all with an obsessive attachment to guns, who may represent a greater danger to the lives of American civilians than international terrorists. See, the flipping is now happening. And they don't uncloak until they fire. And I've been telling you this for 4 years. All the behind the scenes, white Al-Qaeda, white terrorists, white Americans, all gun owners are terrorists. And I told you that's all going to be denied. And they did write articles saying I was insane, it didn't exist. That's all going to be denied, to use another science fiction analogy, until the Klingon warbird uncloaks. Because it's got to uncloak to fire. And folks, it's uncloaking right now. I mean, shields have got to be up. You've got to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, calling All Talk Radio, calling Washington, calling Southern Poverty Law Center, ADL. You know, I did this 2 months before 9/11 on July 25th. I said, call the White House. They're going to blow up the World Trade Center, and they're going to blame it on bin Laden. You don't know about that? Just search Alex Jones predicts 9/11. By the way, we just found a larger clip of it and posted on the site the other day. Got warehouses, videos, and tapes back there. Jimmy Vaughn on record saw it 2 months before when it was live. He's on record. Well, here I am on record before this time. And you heard it here 4 years ago. You heard it here yesterday. You heard it here today. But I told you, when they start running TV shows and movies, that'll be right before they then actually go, oh, it's not just fantasy, it's real. The white people are all terrorists. Gun owners are all terrorists. To have a purge, they just uncloaked. I bet if you go to YouTube, you can actually find a, just type in Klingon uncloaks, because, you know, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but some of them are entertaining, especially the new one was pretty good, actually. But uncloaking, you know, because it's got an energy field around it. It can't fire through its own energy field. Its invisibility field, it has to uncloak to fire. And, folks, I mean, I'm sitting here looking, and the New Order just completely uncloaked. I saw their signature historically. I knew what they were doing. I told you, okay, they're swinging around. They're coming in. They're going to move right up in on us, and they're going to fire. And, folks, it's all happening, A through Z. They're now clicking into Z. The tumblers are falling into place. They're getting ready to run their black op teams to blow stuff up, or God knows what, mass shootings, you name it, right now. I bet they've even got the anchors, because these people are black op commanders, people like... I saw, when I finally went public, it was a couple days before July 25th. I taped it, can't find the tape. Hardball had Hart Rudman committee heads on it. Warren Rudman and Gary Hart. And they were celebrating together. And they said there's going to be big events, big buildings. That's all I can tell you. Things are going to change. They were euphoric. It was a demonic celebration. No one knew what they were seeing. They said things are going to change. There's going to be troops in America. It's just, I guess, got to tell you, big changes are coming. Of course, they were the ones that said America will be attacked a few months before in their Hart Rubin Commission. And I have clips of that in my film, Road to Tyranny, where they say, we predicted an attack on the homeland. We're going to make lemonade out of lemons. We're going to, you know, have this Pax Americana. It was like the left arm of the right arm of the PNAC document that said a Pearl Harbor event, 3,000 dead Americans. It actually says that, written by Dick Cheney, September 20th, 2000, public document, will help us set up this world empire, this American empire. But it's really a banker empire. They just tell the generals and people, you understand gambits. You know, you send in 100 special forces to bring in the enemy to show their numbers. The special forces get killed. You send in 50,000 troops to wipe out the enemy. You would have lost probably 20,000 troops. What's better to lose, 100 or 20,000? For America and for liberty, we're going to blow up these towers, but so that we can defeat the Muslim threat. And that was only top people at NORAD, and they were in on it. That much is clear. Well, I guess we got to kill 3,000 Americans. I don't even know how they estimated that. Cheney said around 3,000 like Pearl Harbor, and then how they had 3,000 in the towers that day. Man, that's wild. I guess they just kind of like guessing what dice you're going to roll next. And so I saw that, and I saw that public demon celebration, because criminals like to brag, and I saw that demon celebration. And he said, thank you for sharing this with me. This is incredible, Chris Matthews said. And it was all code. No one but 1 in a million would even know what they were talking about. And I went, oh, my God. Because I'd seen, here's bin Laden, he's going to attack you. What do you do when he attacks? Get my rights up. Jim Jones' Kool-Aid drinking drill. They had him drink Kool-Aid hundreds of times in drills under orders before it really had the poison in it. You know, all the movies, the TV shows, Taliban's blowing up the Buddhist temples and statues. Oh, my gosh, they're bringing drugs in. Oh, my gosh, they're going to attack. They're going to attack. Rand Corporation documents. Yeah, there'll be a big attack soon, and that'll be used to transform America and put the military over every city. And, you know, I was reading all these things. I mean, they operate uncloaked for those that know what they're doing, and then they hit us. And you're like, how dare you say that? Well, I mean, now Karzai, their own minions come out and said it. They'd run al-Qaeda and Taliban. Fox News is admitting it. They've put an Iron Dome missile shield up over Israel while Obama's there because they're afraid al-Qaeda, they put in Syria, will launch chemical weapons on them. The same al-Qaeda we told you 6 months ago had stolen chemical weapons from Assad with U.S. and NATO help and had gotten them and was going to false flag. They did videos killing dogs with it, new videos, where they're going to false flag Assad with the chemicals. I mean, do you realize the magnitude? And listen, we're in the fight. The fact that I'm on the air, the fact that I'm on all these AM and FM stations, the fact that we're able to talk about this shows there's still good people in government. There's still good people in corporate world. There's still good people in the military and police. But, man, listen, you got to understand, this is so heavy, I could barely talk 10 minutes ago. This is so big. I mean, this is real. You're getting 99.8% accuracy right now because I've thought about this, looked at this. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and it's not hard once you know it. Folks, it's happening, okay? Do you understand that? They did Oklahoma City. They did 9/11. They did Gulf of Tonkin. They had Northwoods. They did Operation Ajax. They did the NATO option. It's all declassified. It's all hiding in plain view. They had all these officers go public and say Muhammad Atta and 4 others trained at the Defense Language School. The head of the school went public, and they started court-martialing him for violating national security. You ask, how would they do something? How'd they keep Manhattan Project secret for 4 years with 120,000 people involved? Do you understand this isn't American government? It's a criminal command hijack over the government. We are in red level emergency. They have uncloaked. They are now rolling in newspapers everywhere saying whites are terrorist cells and are going to attack. The government trying to institute a race war. While government in every major city funds billboards saying LA's now Mexico, Austin is Mexico, Hispanics rise up against the gringos. I mean, incredible program so that now that it's time, minorities who are the majority, already the majority in most areas, don't go, well, I want the Second Amendment, I want proper rights. No, I'm with the government. Oh, really? The whites are terrorists. Well, I'll turn my guns in to show them whites while you're giving up your entire future. Kurt Nemo's article's up on drudgereport.com right now. God help us. God help us. Folks, I know what's going to happen next. You wonder why I break down and cry sometimes? I think they're going to nuke a city. That's what my gut tells me. Thousands of points of analysis. Obama and his controllers are looking at detonating a low-yield nuclear weapon in a city and blaming us. And they're going to kill me hours after it happens. We'll be right back. Stay with us.